Home. It's a place where most of us find comfort, open arms, the smell of cooking, and a haven from the day's work and worry. But some of us take it for granted because it's always been there. But for so many, it's just a dream they don't ever believe will become a reality. The Community Development Corporation of Brownsville, or CDCB, has made homeownership for many low-income Rio Grande Valley families a dream come true. Since 1974, CDCB has helped more than 5,000 families achieve home ownership through the reconstruction of existing properties, the purchase of CDCB neighborhood properties, and a number of programs and loan products. CDCB was founded as a response to an urgent need in the city of Brownsville, the elimination of a vast number of outhouses or pit privies. Father Armand Mathew led this response with a local church group and other concerned citizens. The group organized to become CDCB and worked diligently to bring water and sewer systems to many areas of Brownsville.
I asked to be assigned to this place because it was a place with poor Hispanic ministry and where I would have a chance to do justice and peace ministry. And my superiors allowed me to do that. And so when I came here, I wanted to know the people of the area, not just the Catholics, but all the folks in the area. So I went out to the far corner of the parish area and began knocking on doors, one after the other. And it soon became clear to me that a good number of folks needed a better house more than they needed my math schedule.
CDCB has been a recipient of federal, state, and local funds for housing and has managed numerous federally and privately funded housing programs. The program has 25 employees led by Executive Director Nick Mitchell-Bennett and a 13-member board, all working together with the goal of helping low-income families attain home ownership.
CDCB started about 36 years ago, and our first mission was to eliminate outdoor pit privies or outhouses in the city of Brownsville. There were about 1,800 of those in Brownsville in 1974, and from that we've grown into the largest producer of single-family housing for home ownership as a nonprofit. And over our 36 years, we've really garnered the support of everyone from the state of Texas to the city of Brownsville, HUD, the United States Department of Agriculture, as well as all the lending institutions in the city, have really all come beside us, and we've worked diligently with them to create home ownership for folks who probably wouldn't have it.
Yet there is still more to be done, says Henri, Nicolas, CDCB chairman of the board.
Our core mission is building good quality housing for everyone. As chair, I have several goals for the next couple of years. First is to really get CDCB's name and mission to the forefront in our community and get more folks in our community to know what it is we do and how we do it. I think that I often say, and this is kind of an inside joke, that CDCB is the best kept secret in Brownsville. It does such great work, and there's so many folks who just don't know that we're here or what we do. And they need to know what we do. They need to know that there are organizations that, like CDCB that are here helping folks achieve the American dream of home ownership.
Board members Minnie, Lucio, and Lupita Sanchez are truly committed to CDCB.
Part of my job is to work with the community and help out, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to help people that could have never owned a house before. I think it's everybody's dream is to have a home, but to have such a fine home, my gosh, it's almost priceless. So even though I come in the evenings and sometimes we stay 2-3 hours, it's all worth it. To me, it's a house that most people would never even have. You know, a brick home with central air and washer and dryer connections. Most people have never had something like that, and it probably wouldn't have happened if it weren't for for this organization?
I've been a board member for 6 months already, and I've learned about it, I'll say 13 years ago, when I personally applied for one of these houses. I didn't continue the procedure because I didn't needed it back then, but I knew they were doing great things back then in the community. And then I got engaged through a member, a friend that I know, and they told me, or they offered me, or they invited me to be a board member, and I came, and I like it, and I'm here since then. I'm planning to stay here for the longest time because it's very good for me because you see the things that they do in the community, knowing that Cameron Park in specific has been identified as the poorest community in Texas, and knowing that an organization, a nonprofit organization especially, focus on building houses for low-income families, it's a relief.
It's the wisest, largest, and most important investment a family will make in their lifetime.
Over the last 30-some-odd years, CDCB has assisted 5,000-6,000 families with home ownership through all the various programs that we have. And I would say that going forward, I wouldn't say that our future is another 5,000 or 6,000 families. I'd say that our future is limitless. Our future is whatever we want to make it, and we can help as many folks as possible.
The Rodriguez family lived with other family members for years before finally moving into their own CDCB home.
Fue algo muy bonito porque sabíamos que veníamos a nuestra propia casa,
Sí.
propia en el hecho de que ya habíamos trabajado para poder tener nuestra casa.
No había la privacidad de una familia, no podíamos hacer nosotros nada. Que queríamos pintar algo, no podíamos porque no era nuestra casa. Y ahora aquí hacemos y deshacemos lo que nosotros queramos.
Es algo muy bonito que sabes que vas a escoger lo que realmente a ti te va a gustar. El diseño de tu casa, los colores de las alfombras, que tratar de que siempre combinaran con las paredes, el ladrillo de afuera que combinara con la teja que le iban a poner en el techo. Es algo muy bonito, ¿verdad? Que yo pienso que no es lo mismo llegar y decir, yo quiero esta casa. Sí, pero ya cuando, es que dentro no me gustó el piso, cómo combina con la pared, no me gustó cómo combina el techo con la teja, y eso fue algo muy bonito para nosotros aquí en Community Development, que nos dieron a escoger todos los colores de nuestra preferencia y el estilo de la casa.
The Torres family achieved their dream and more. Their first home was purchased with the help of CDCB. They sold it at a profit, which enabled them to build their second home.
We learned about community development when I was in 4th grade. My parents moved into a community development house, and so I lived all my life there. And then we became a community development owners also.
My parents are also CDCB owners. They're currently paying for a house. They've been paying for 7 years now, and their story is that it's the Mexican American dream. You know, they had property in Matamoros, Mexico, and they sold, and with that money they bought a lot. And eventually they went also, since we were at the time paying for a community development house, we talked them into also getting in the program. And they did. They went through the paperwork. Since they're in a fixed income, they qualify for the minimum square footage. I believe their house is about maybe 700 square feet, but very comfortable. I mean, they're very happy there. It's a brick house, solid house. It's gone already through 2 hurricanes already with no problems whatsoever, and they're very happy about it. And like I said, they're in a fixed income. They make very little money from the government, and they still manage to qualify, and they still are paying. They're paying for their house.
The Torres have recommended CDCB to family and to whoever will listen.
I'm an advocate of community development because it helped us so much fulfill our dreams, our goals. And I tell, whenever I meet a couple or somebody, I always tell them our stories. Like, you need to get into community development.
Especially if you're, struggling to get your first home, this is a great opportunity with community development. Renting, you'll never own your home. So I really, also, I do the same thing. Anybody that I know that are starting off and they want to get their first home, I always also advocate for community development and let them know that, that's available. A lot of people are not aware of it. Mm-hmm. And so since, we've known it since I was small, I always, tell anybody that I know. And it's a really good program. And so whoever can qualify, we would be happy to know that there's people out there that, will fulfill their dreams just like we did.
CDCB currently has 11 affordable family housing subdivisions in Cameron County, with several others in progress. The program has a 3-year inventory, 500 lots, and land for an additional 200 lots.
In the past, folks would buy land and they would pay $1 down and $100 a month for 5 or 6 years until they paid off their property. And then they would come to us and ask us or another builder to build them a home. And that typically took anywhere from 3 to 6 years. They would have to pay and build themselves, and it was just a very cumbersome and an expensive process. So our past executive director, Don Curry, realized that there had to be a better way, a less expensive way, a better organized way to create home ownership for low-income folks. And by doing that, he created the affordable family subdivisions. And in these subdivisions, the family could come in and pick their home and their lot. Our subdivisions are spread out all over the city of Brownsville and Cameron County. So if you want to live in Southmost, great. If you want to live in West Brownsville, fantastic. Or even in San Benito or Port Isabel, we have a location for everybody. We're able to build anywhere from 200 to 300 houses in a year, both build and finance for families, making us, again, one of the wisest decisions a family can make when they're buying their home.
The master plan properties include a single entrance to the community, nearby schools, green areas for recreation, and oversized lots. Several floor plans are offered at each community, and homes include single-car attached garages and energy-efficient heating and cooling systems. By late 2009, all homes will be built to the Energy Star system.
CDCB provides a well-built, sturdy home with good financing, safe financing for the family. But it's not just a house, it's a home. These are communities that CDCB is building. You come into one of our communities and there's kids riding their bikes and there's playing in the front yard or in the backyard. It's a wonderful place for these families to grow together. Lifelong friends are made and they all look out for each other.
The majority of families would not have been able to become first-time homebuyers without down payment assistance. CDCB, in partnership with the City of Brownsville and the State of Texas, have created one of the most successful down payment assistance programs in the state. CDCB provides funding through various grants, and assistance can be as much as $9,000 to $10,000, dependent on the area the home is in. The first step in home ownership for some families is counseling. CDCB has counseled some 6,000 people since its beginnings. It is estimated 150 families will go through their Home Buyers Club counseling program this year. Counseling needs are varied. Some may only need information to take the confusion out of the home buying process. Others need more help to set realistic goals, plan for the future, and understand the costs involved in home ownership. Through participation in the Home Buyers Club, CDCB staff provides training, support, and counseling. Counseling is done through clubs. Each club consists of 7 to 10 future homebuyers who meet once a month for a period of 3 to 6 months or 6 to 12 months depending on the need. At each meeting, topics such as overcoming credit problems, budgeting, money management, home purchasing, savings, and home maintenance are discussed. After cleaning up their credit, the Gonzales family has just qualified for their new CDCB home. They could not have purchased a home without the help of CDCB.
Ellos te ayudan mucho en esa forma, en la forma de que cómo limpiar tu crédito y te dan muchos ánimos para limpiar el crédito, es lo principal. Donde entré yo me tardé como casi un año y medio. Un año y medio porque sí, estaba un poquito mal mi crédito y sí lo fui limpiando y hasta que ya tuve el crédito bueno ya tuve la oportunidad de aplicar con CDCB y me apoyaron bastante.
Me habían dicho que antes de hacer la casa vamos a tener una junta y en esa junta nos van a decir qué es lo que va a llevar y qué es lo que se va a poner y qué es lo que se va a poner de pintura, los pisos, las alfombras, todo eso se va a hacer. Pues muy feliz, muy realizada porque es la primera vez que yo voy a hacer una casa que va a ser propia de nosotros, ¿verdad? Y estamos pues muy contentos y estoy preparada para hacer mi casa.
The Homebuyers Club is free of charge, and CDCB only asks that each club member be determined and dedicated to becoming a homeowner.
It's our goal to help everybody achieve their dream of owning a home. We don't like to say no to anybody. We might have to say no now, but in the future we always have a program for them. We have counseling. If they need counseling, credit counseling, they come in and work with us. If it's self-help, if it's a smaller home or a larger home, but there's always something for everybody. We're trying to help everybody achieve the dream of home ownership, and we can get everybody there. It just takes a little bit of effort.
Since October of 2000, 18 groups have gone through CDCB's self-help program, which translates to a total of 115 families constructing their own homes. Families who really have no other way to buy a home.
Nosotros oímos porque fuimos a informarnos ahí en la oficina. Nos interesaba comprar una casa, entonces nos fuimos a informarnos. La señorita de ahí nos informó sobre este programa y nos interesó. El proceso fue cuando sobre el crédito, sobre los créditos de uno. Entonces ahí nos comenzaron a investigar y si todo estaba bien sobre los créditos, pues de ahí comenzamos a encaminarse uno sobre el programa y sobre el enganche y eso pues también nos dijeron y pues está bien, dimos una parte pero primero íbamos a aprobar y sí nos aprobaron sobre el crédito que teníamos porque pues no teníamos una cuenta pendiente ni mucho menos, entonces de ahí fue que nos dijeron que sí estábamos aprobados. Pues ya quisiéramos que se hubiera terminado, pero ya vamos terminando y yo pues estamos contentos porque pues vamos a tener lo que nosotros hicimos. Antes no sabíamos ni tomar una herramienta, al menos yo, ¿no? Y ahorita por lo menos ya sé agarrar un martillo, ya sé cómo se puso esto, cómo se puso desde el inicio una vista, cómo se puso tal o cual barrote, madera y pues yo ya sé.
6 to 10 families work in groups over 11 months, sharing labor and skills to build their own homes. Most work 40 hours a week at their jobs and then each day put in several hours at the construction site. The labor for each family totals about 1,400 hours.
The self-help program is a great program. It's a tough program. These families work together for 9-10 months, and then at the end they do a mass closing and everybody moves in on the same day. It's a great sight to go out to the subdivision and see 5 or 6 or 7 U-Haul trucks in the driveway and all the families unloading them, getting them into the house. It's just wonderful. It's great.
Special loan pricing is available for those in the self-help program. Participants receive 50% of a $60,000 loan amount at 0% interest for 30 years. The balance is financed at no more than 5%, maybe as low as 1%. In most instances, house payments are as low as $450. It's a big savings for families. The Colonias in South Texas are considered some of the poorest areas in the United States. Through CDCB's Colonia Redevelopment Program, the agency has assisted in rebuilding more than 250 houses in 10 colonias since 1996 and has a redevelopment plan to upgrade Colonia housing stock.
En la iglesia nos dijeron que había un programa para que hacían las casas, pero nosotros pensábamos que era un préstamo. Entonces hace un año nos comentaron de esto, entonces no podíamos, y le comenté a mi esposo y dice, no, pues me voy a retirar y nosotros no podemos sacar un préstamo para reparar la casa. Entonces lo dejamos olvidado y en junio de este año nos volvieron a comentar que si todavía teníamos problema con la casa. Le dije, sí, pues se gotea bastante. ¿No quieres una casa nueva? Sí, pero nosotros no podemos hacer un pago más porque mi esposo ya está retirado y con lo que le mandan no completamos. Entonces, pero es que no vas a pagar nada. Entonces, se llama a este número, me dio el número y llamé. Entonces, me dijeron, sí, venga, levante una aplicación, llénela y tenemos una entrevista con usted. Y así fue como nos enteramos de este programa. Pues pensábamos que por una cosa u otra no íbamos a calificar o no íbamos a entrar en el programa, porque pues había que llenar muchos requisitos y los llenamos y todo, pero me dijeron, en, no sé, 3, 4 semanas le avisamos si está usted dentro del programa o no. Está bien, entonces esperamos y un día viene el contratista, me dice, señora, yo soy el señor que le voy a hacer su casa. Y no, yo no sé, todavía no me avisan si yo califiqué. Sí, yo voy a hacer su casa y se tiene que salir para derrumbar su casa y construirla. ¿Pero cuándo? Pues si quiere la semana que entra ya. No, bueno, está bien. Y ya nos salimos y duramos 3 meses fuera mientras la construyeron.
Colonia residents can access CDCB's Rural and Colonia Loan Program. It offers families flexible underwriting based on disposable income. Brownsville is home to one of the nation's biggest and poorest colonia, Cameron Park, where the per capita income is $4,000. CDCB has helped to bring water, sewer lines, and paved streets to the families housed there. Juana Fuentes, a resident of Cameron Park, was hesitant when CDCB approached her, but now she is very happy with her new home.
Y volvió y dijo, vamos a enseñarles una casa que ya está casi terminada para que la vea a ver si le gusta. Y hable con la señora para que vean que está contenta con su casa. Y hablamos con esa señora y entonces ella nos dijo, sí, anímate, la casa está muy buena y que quién sabe qué. Y luego pues yo me animé, ¿verdad? Y así fue. Y pues ahorita estoy muy contenta. Pero sí es muy buena ayuda las casas que están dando. Pues, y yo le recomiendo a la que quiera una casa, pues que si quiera, porque sí es cierto, de esas casas que están regalando. ¿Sí? Porque a mí me pasó, yo no quería creer. Y dije, no me van a tumbar mi casa y lo que voy a hacer. Y luego ya pasaba un tiempecito y decía, mi hija, la mayor que tengo, decía, mami, recuérdales. Y yo, no les quiero recordar, quiero que solos me avisen, ¿verdad? Y luego vinieron y me avisaron. Ya le vamos a entregar su casa. Ay, me dio mucho gusto cuando me dijeron.
The Colonia program started in about 1995, 1996, and our first goal was to eliminate the outdoor outhouses that were in the Colonia of Cameron Park. It kind of took us back to our beginnings in 1974. And then from there, we moved into rehabbing houses and reconstructing houses and tearing down old houses and building new ones. It was a great, and it still is, a great example of how the government, nonprofits, the private sector lending can all work together. I mean, and if you work together, you can really get things done. And every day working in the colonias as we build new houses and rehab older houses, there's hope. You move into a house that's 5 or 6 new houses on that block, and the whole block is full of hope. And they can really see a future for their community.
We have programs that can help them take their piece of property and leverage it and put a home on that property, and to see folks who go from, you know, literally living in a shack to living in a home is just wonderful.
CDCB's Youthbuild program links job training, education, and affordable housing production with dropout youth between the ages of 18 and 24.
Youthbuild, our Youthbuild program. It's a great program. It takes young kids who either have dropped out of school, been kicked out of school, maybe they've had a run-in or two with the law, and you know they're at a point in their young lives where they know that they need to learn a skill set, learn a trade, and work on their education to further themselves. And we take them into the program and have a dual program, so to speak, of getting them to their GED and getting them in training courses to learn a vocation.
The program offers childcare, construction skills training, family and drug abuse counseling, and a paycheck. CDCB's Youthbuild has been recognized as one of the top 3 Youthbuild programs in the nation and has won 8 housing and urban development grants totaling more than $4 million.
Most of our young people come into our program that are disadvantaged economically, educationally, and also lacking a lot of skills to obtain a good job. Our youth will come into a program and they are expected to be there for a minimum of 6 months up to 12 months. We do have follow-up services for these young people as well, up to 1 year after they've completed the program. But they are expected to follow 4 basic rules. One is that of respect. Respect themselves, respect others in the program. The second one is fully participate in the program, to give it their best, their all. Attendance is high and it's a priority. The third rule is that of having a team or working relationship with one another, and the fourth is that of safety. Our program is set up where our young people will do half their time, it's basically 36 hours a week. Half their time, 18 hours, are involved in construction work, where they are getting the job skills in construction at on-site, building homes from ground up all the way up to the roofing part. The other half of their 18 hours are in education and leadership skills in the classroom. Yeah, it's a very challenging program, and Youthbuild really tries to challenge them, but the fact is that we have a staff that really cares. We bend backwards for these young people so that they can get those skills. We challenge them. It's not just an easy program, but they are challenged, and they do follow through with a lot of goals that they meet. It's a very positive community. It's a little mini community that we set up there.
Gloria Meyer has seen the return. A graduate of Youthbuild, the single mom went on to build her own home with the help of CDCB. She was recently awarded a $2,000 scholarship from CDCB to assist with the cost of obtaining her PhD.
I joined Youthbuild Brownsville's second year, so we had a longer commitment than the students do now. We stayed for a year. We put in 40-hour weeks, but the program helped me to get my GED. I was a high school dropout, and with that GED toward the end, December '97, that's when I started getting into college. A typical day at Youthbuild Brownsville, well, there was 2 days actually. You had your on-site days where you were at the construction site, because we were I'm thinking we were about 40 students, I'm not positive, but so that we were divided into 2 teams. So half of us would go to the construction site one day, and the other half would work in the lab and be studying for their GED, taking remedial stuff. Then we would switch, and then Fridays we would have either we would be learning about blueprints, how to read them, and so forth, or we would have leadership skills, life skills. And I really think that they are the ones who put it in my mind, you know, the whole thing about going to college. I don't think I had thought about that before. It was never anything that seemed very important to me. It may seem kind of funny, but you know, it was generations have changed, and in my generation there were still some students that were talking about just the first job you could get, you know. I think the young people that are coming into Youthbuild now, the commitment is for a shorter time. I would really encourage them to stick with it. If they look in the right places, they can gain a lot from it. Don't just take the GED and, you know, go get the first thing. If you stick with it, you're going to learn competency skills, life skills, leadership development. Then you also get a support network.
And it's a great program. It's a program that needs to be funded and well-funded and expanded, in my opinion. And that's going to be one of the things that we're working on. That is one of the things that we're working on, making sure that Youthbuild is alive and thriving and helping as many young kids as possible. It's, just this year, started getting into green building. So we have, tomorrow's generation learning about tomorrow's construction. Hopefully today's construction. So there's a lot of good things going on over there, and in conjunction with getting our message out, we really need to get the message out about Youthbuild and work on Youthbuild.
The Community Development Corporation of Brownsville is making home ownership possible for Rio Grande Valley families. Given a chance, most people will do everything in their power to make the dream of owning a home a reality. If you want to know more about how to help us make those dreams come true, call 956-541-4955 or visit our website at www.cdcb.org.